Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these brick stitch rainbows in clouds. This is what they look like, and you can use delicate beads or round seed beads for this. I'm going to use round seed beads. These would make cute earrings. So let's get started. I do have a video already for how to do brick stitch. If you're not familiar with that technique, that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you want to familiarise yourself with that, because I'll go into more detail in that video of how to do that actual technique, then that's further down my channel. But to make one of these you need size 11 seed beads or delicate beads in the colours you want for your rainbow, and I'm doing 6 different colours, so I'm doing like a pastel kind of rainbow. So you'll need 6 colours. So for like the traditional one, I skipped indigo and just did violet. So I got this. But yeah, you need 6 colours, and then you'll also need some white beads or whatever you want to use for the little cloud. These ones I actually used it was white, kind of translucent white. I'm going to use this opaque white for today. You'll need your choice of beading thread and a beading needle. Okay, so I've laid out the colours that I'm going to be using for my rainbow, and I've put them in the order that I'm going to be picking them up in so that I don't get confused or pick up the wrong colour. And I've also threaded my needle, and this is the prettiest pastel rainbow. I love it. And so first thing you're going to do is pick up 2 of your first colour and 2 of your second colour and slide those down. And then you're going to sew up through the first 2, so through the 2 red or pink. So you got this. Now I'm going to sew down through the 2 orange. Next I'm going to pick up 2 of the next colour, which is yellow. Coming out the bottom of the orange here, I'm going to go down through the top of both of those orange. So we have this, and then I'm going to go back up through those 2 yellow that I just added. Now I'm going to pick up 2 of the green. Coming out the top of the yellow, I'm going to loop round and go through the other side, go through both of those yellows. So we have this, and then down through the 2 green that we just added. Next I'm going to pick up 2 blue, and coming out the bottom of this one, so I'm going to go down through the top of the 2 green and up through the 2 blue. Now I'm going to pick up 2 purple, coming out the top of the blue, so I'm going to go up through the bottom of the blues, go through both of those beads. So we have this. Now I'm going to come down through the purple again. So now we're halfway, we're going to go back down the line the other way, but we're only going to have 1 row of purple in the middle, so we're going to pick up blue. So pick up 2 blue and go down through the top of those purple beads. Next you're going to add 2 green in the same way. Then you're going to add 2 yellow. And then you're going to add 2 orange. And 2 of the red or the pink. Oops. Pull that tight, and you've got this, which is your base row, but it's a little bit wobbly, It's not really sitting straight, so what I'm going to do is I'm coming out the top of these two pink, I'm going to sew down through the orange next to it, pulling it tight every single time, up through the yellow, down through the green, up through the blue, and so on, and you're going to zigzag up and down all the way along. When you get to the last one, pull it really tight. And now it should be sitting a lot straighter and a lot neater. So I'm going to turn it round, because when I'm doing brick stitch I always prefer to work from the right to the left, so that's up to you, but I prefer to work right to left. So now we're going to start our second row, and we're going to be picking up, to start with, 2 of the red or pink. We're coming out of these 2 on the end, turn it on its side so you can see all the little threads that connect those beads together. You're going to take your needle underneath that first little bridge of thread, the thread that's connecting the pink bead to the orange bead. Take your needle underneath that, pull it down so that it sits like this, and then you're going to go up through those 2 beads we just added. And when you pull it down, then they should sit on the top like that. Next we're going to pick up 2 orange beads, and we're going to go under the next thread bridge. So you're going to take your needle under that thread that connects the orange and the yellow, like that. Pull it down and sew up through the 2 orange beads you just added. Pull it down, use your thumb to press it down into place. Now you've got this. So next is yellow. So again, take your needle under that next thread, pull it down and sew up through the 2 we just added. Remember to pull it tight each time so you don't have any loose threads. Next is green, so pick up your 2 green and then take your needle under that next thread, pull it down and up through the 2 green we just added. Next is going to be blue. Pick up your 2 blue, go under that next thread and up through the 2 that you just added. Oops, make sure you don't get caught like I did. Okay, so for this row, in order to make the rainbow shape like this, we're not going to add any more purple beads. So, I mean, the purple, there's only literally 2 of the purple beads in the whole thing. But the next row is, the next 2 are going to be blue as well. And that's like what's going to make the, the rainbow shape. So picking up another 2 blue beads, going under that next thread there, pull them down and take your needle up through both those beads. Oops. It's a little bit hard to hold on this first row because you've not got much to hold on to, it sort of slips out of your hands all the time. But once you've got this second row done, it's a lot easier to hold. So now we're back to the green because we're going back the other way now. So the blue's the centre this time, the purple was the centre, and then you go back the other way. The blue's the centre next time, the green will be the centre and the yellow, and so on. So picking up 2 green this time, and going back up through those, 2 yellow, going under that next thread and back up through the 2 yellow. Now 2 orange and back up through those 2. And finally for this row you should have one more thread that you haven't been through, and that's for your 2 red or pink. So go under that last thread, pull it down and up through the 2 you just added. Pull it nice and tight, and then again I'm going to turn it around again so my working thread's on this side, and this is what we have. So the next row is going to pretty much be the same thing again. You were going to use every single one of those loops of threads, so this time we're leaving out the blue. So I'm going to sort of zoom ahead a little bit and just tell you the colour pattern as we go now. So like I said before, if you need more detailed instruction on actual brick stitch, the technique, I already have a video for that on my channel if you want to check that out. So yeah, I'm going to speed ahead a little bit and just tell you the colour pattern. So start with 2 pink, next is 2 orange, 2 yellow, 2 green, 2 green, and 2 more green. Now we're working back the other way because that was the middle. So back to 2 yellow, followed by 2 orange, and finally for this row 2 pink. Pull it tight and turning around again. So we've got this. So this row we're not going to be picking up 2 at a time, we're just going to be picking up 1 of each colour that I say. So we're starting with a pink or red, just 1. Next is an orange, and then yellow, yellow again, yellow again, and again, and then orange and pink. Pull it tight and turn it round again. So now we have this. Love these colours together. I think this might be my favourite of the rainbows, pastel rainbow. Okay, so another row of single beads, so starting with a pink, followed by orange, orange again, orange again, and orange, orange again, and now a pink. Okay, I've turned it around again, and this row is just going to be a full row of single pink beads. So go ahead and do a row of pink or red. Okay, so once you've done that, then you should have this. Super cute. So now you're coming out this end one here. I'm going to move down through this bead next to it and up through the following one. Pull that tight so you don't have like a loop here. So you're coming out of one of these middle 2 beads, and then I'm going to pick up 4 pink beads, and I'm going to go down into the next one, back up through the one next to it and through the first 2 that we added, like that. Now if you wanted to attach a jump ring, an earring, finding, anything like that, now's the time to do that on this pass through. So if you want to add a jump ring or anything, this is where you would do it. And then I'm going to go back down through those two and the one below. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to be using these for key rings, I think, so that's why I've left the loop like that for now. I'm going to add a jump ring separately. Now I'm going to move my thread up through the next bead, down through the one on the end. Okay, so that's the actual rainbow part done. Now I'll show you next what to do if you want to add the clouds at the bottom. So if you've got a lot of working thread left, then what you need to do is weave your thread back across the top and all the way down the side to this bottom bead, this bottom pink bead, till you're coming out of there. If you haven't got enough working thread left, and your tail thread's not long enough, then you're going to tie knots and cut off your threads, your working thread and your tail thread, and then you're going to attach a new piece of thread, and you want it to be coming out of this bead here. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to tie some knots with my working thread, starting here where I am. Just going to tie a knot and then move through a couple of beads, and then I'm going to tie another knot here, and move through some more beads, and then I'm going to cut that thread, and then I'm going to do the same, tie off my tail thread. Okay, so now I'm going to add a new piece of thread for this part. Again, I'm just taking about an arm's length. And I'm just going to add that new piece of thread. And I have just posted a video for how to add thread to beadwork, so if you want to check that out for more details, then that's on my channel. Okay, so I've added a new piece of thread and it's coming out of this bead here, so make sure that's where you are. Now I'm going to take my white beads and I'm going to pick up 4 of my white beads, and I'm coming out of this one here. Like I said, I'm going to go down through the one above it and back through the one I'm coming out of. So down through those end 2 pink beads, like that. Now I'm going to go through that first white bead that we just added, just through the first one, and I'm going to pick up 5 more white beads and go back into that white bead on the other side like that. Now I'm going to move through 2, 3, oops, and up through the last 2, like that. And I'm coming out of this one, I'm going to take my needle up through those 2 pink beads. And then I'm going to come down through the 2 orange. Oops. Now I'm going to go down through these first 2 white beads in this circle. Go down through the 2 of those. Like this. And I'm going to pick up 5 more white beads. and I'm going to go back into the bead that I'm coming out of, not the top one as well, just back into the one that I'm coming out of on the other side, like that. So I'm coming out of this bead, I'm going back into it on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to travel through those 5 beads I just added again. And I'm coming out of this one at the top now, this 5th one, and I'm going to take it up through that orange, those 2 orange beads, down through the 2 yellow, and I'm going to go down. You see, this is the one we just attached to the orange. This one, I'm going to go down through the next one. Like that. Okay, now we have this. Now I'm going to go circle through those beads again. So I'm just going to go through them all again. And then you want to be coming out of this top bead in this last 6. This bead here, the top of this little group of 6, and it's already connected to the oranges. Now you're going to go up through the yellow, the 2 yellows. Okay, so that's one side of our clouds done. And we're going to move to the other side, so you're just going to go down through the greens, up through the blues, down through the purples, and so on until you get to the end. Okay, so now we're coming out of the top. I've turned it round, so I'm working on this side. We're coming out the top of this group of 2 pinks. We're going to pick up 4 white beads and go back up through the 2 pinks. So we have this. Now you're going to come back down through the 4 white beads. Oops. And then you're going to pick up 5 white beads. Go back through that white bead that you're coming out of. Okay, so we have this. Now I'm going to circle through those 5 white beads that I just added again, and back up into that one on the top. Okay, so now we've got this. Now we're going to move through the first white bead in that group, and I'm going to go up through the 2 orange beads. Down through the 2 pink. And then back into that white bead that we were just going through on the top. Now I'm going to move down through 1 more bead, and I'm going to pick up 5 more white beads. And I'm going to go back through that bead that I'm coming out of on the opposite side. So that we have this. Now I'm going to move around through 2 of those beads, up through 2 more, and through that final one on the top. So now I'm coming out this one on the top. I'm going to go up into the 2 orange again, down through the 2 yellow, now I'm going to go into, so this is the one that's connected to the orange, I'm going to go into that one next to it, or down through 2, it doesn't matter, like that, and then I'm going to circle through all these beads again, like I did before. And that's how we add the clouds, and then all you need to do is tie your threads and we're finished. So that's our finished rainbow in clouds, and this is what it turned out like. I still do think that this pastel one is my favourite, although I love seeing the traditional rainbow, it always makes me happy, these colours. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and let me know if you make one of these, I'd love to see it. I'm on Instagram at Beading by Hannah, and you can comment down below here anything else you'd like to see, and like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!